What's up guys, I'm Aidan Black, and a little while I put a video up of a live set that I was doing, just a mini mix of a couple of my tracks. And a friend of mine was like, oh that's cool, but how do you do that? So I thought, oh, I'll just make this video to tell you how I mix my tracks together, just in case you were interested, which you weren't. It's important to know the setup that I'm using here is the Native Instruments, shout out Native Instruments, Tractor S4 Mark III. Which is an awesome little unit, really portable. I've got this really wicked flight case for it as well, so getting it around is easy. And another important point to note here is that I'm using their file system, which is called Native Instruments Stems, which means that I'm not just playing like a single normal audio MP3 or WAV file. I've actually got each of them. I've got 4 different tracks on each thing. So I've got vocals, synths, bass, and drums, and they're all separate. And you'll see these colored buttons at the bottom here control each of those independently. So red is drums, yellow is bass, green is synths, and pink is vocals. And what that helps with is me keeping my songs in the right key, but also being able to dip out those elements so I can transition between tracks easier. Because I don't make life easy for myself and write all my songs in the same key. They are all different, which I only realized when I had to try and put them all together in a set. So I'm going to talk you through what I'm doing here on this controller and talk you through a little bit of what these buttons are doing. But just general things to know if you've never used a DJ controller before. Basically, on the left and the right, you've got these 2 decks. Now, in the vinyl days, that's would have been where you put your vinyl. They're bigger, obviously, for vinyl. And you would then have this section in the middle, which is the mixer. And you use this knob here to sort of fade between the 2 decks. So if you've got 2 tracks that are running at the same time, you can jump between them for sections, or you can blend them by putting it somewhere in the middle. Above that, you've got just the independent volume controllers for the faders. These middle 2 control the actual units here. And there's some extra ones if you want to like plug in extra decks into this system. You can have audio running into that. Then you've got this set of knobs here, which are the effects controllers. So at the moment, these knobs, they're normally stationed in the middle. And if you roll them down to the end, then you get a low pass filter. So all the high-end EQ is rolled off. Or if you go the other way, all the bass is rolled out of the system here. So at the moment, I've got a fancy one on here as well. This is an EQ with a reverb on it. So I've got the top end rolled off and a reverb put on as well, which makes this kind of like dreamy entrance, which I like to use at the start of my sets. And then above there, you've just got the basic EQ knobs. So each one, you've got the high band EQ here, you've got mid band, and you've got low band. And basically, each one of those relates to each deck here. So if I'm playing off of this deck on the left, you'll see me using this set of controls. And if I'm playing off of the right, you'll see me use these set of controls. Again, the far right and left are for extra DJ controllers if you are so crazy talented that you need more decks. I am not crazy talented, so I don't need more decks. Okay, so I'm gonna just jump in now with this first song, which is Take It Back, one of my favorites. You'll see here this little green light means that I've got a section of the song that I'm looping, and you'll see me take that off later. But essentially what I've got here is, at the moment you'll see just this green button is lit up, so it's just the synths that are running through this with the low pass filter and a reverb, and it's looping that section so I can sort of bring the song in gradually. Okay, I'm just going to play it.
I told you not to catch fear.
So you saw me there, I rolled off the reverby EQ here, so I'm bringing in more of the high-end frequencies, and then I pop the vocals in there. What I should have done straight after that was take the loop off so that it didn't go back and repeat the same section of lyrics, but I didn't, and you'll see me in a moment panic just as the loop is about to expire. I hit that button and everything is all right, and you wouldn't have known if I hadn't have told you. But now you know how useless I am. now you know. But now you know how useless I am at DJing.
Didn't want to get too serious, just about it to turn to when I need that human touch. It was great for a moment when we turn the lights up, 'cause everything is simple with no clothes on. Every time
and you saw me there just add in the drums and the bass just in time for that, and then into that next section where it's got that kick drum underneath. And you saw me there just change the type of effect that I had on those effect faders. So it went from red to green. Red is the reverb, green is like a delay. And so what I'm going to do now is, as I come to the drop of the song, I'm going to increase that sort of the high pass filter. So all the low end is going to start to be taken out, and it's going to put on this delay, which sort of ramps things up before the drop. But I want less low end EQ than I do delay, so I sort of counterbalance that by taking out a little bit of the low end using this button here. You'll see in a moment, this knob here. So I just roll that down so that I don't have too much delay on it. Just gives it a little bit extra sizzle as we go into the drop.
Can I take it back? 'Cause when we set the rules, I didn't know I'm falling. But it's here now, and I don't wanna let you go. Can I take it back? 'Cause now it hurts to know there's somebody else to take you home. And I just wanna dive into your love. Can I take it back?
And so what you saw me do there on this panel is that I moved from the colored buttons means that I'm controlling the individual stems of the song, and then I moved into just what are called hot cues. So I've got sections of that song looped where I need it, so I jump between that, and then as I hit the chorus here, I hit that loop, and so now it'll just roll around that loop until such time as I move to the next song, which you'll see me do in a second. So now you'll see that bottom fader. I've already had these two songs synced up from before I started the video, and so now I'm rolling that fader into the middle. So you're starting to get a little bit of track 2, which is I Wanna, coming through. But in this section at the moment, you've only got the drums. So it's kind of got that percussion going on underneath, which you'll hear roll in. And in a moment, I'm going to transition between those two and bring the synths in on this side and drop the synths out on that, but keep the drums. So you have that consistency rolling, but then you have like a moment where things switch over synth-wise. So there we go. That was the bass and the synth on Take It Back being dropped out, and at the same time the bass and the synth on I Wanna got pulled in, and now you'll see me just sort of jump between and now you'll see me slide everything over towards I Wanna, but I'm leaving the drums in from Take It Back just to give it that consistency of moving over. So there, you'll have seen me just pulling the low end EQ off of the drums, but using those with the delay as kind of like an added sizzle in the build up towards that drop. And what I did there is, instead of just pushing this fader over so you've just got the audio input from this deck, I actually pulled this one down because these effects work after this. So if I'd have just pulled that over, you wouldn't have had any like tail off or any kind of, it would just cut instantly, which would have sounded super weird. So I pulled the delay up on this and then pulled the input down so that you still got the sort of delay tail to make it sound cool.
I wanna. I wanna. I wanna. I wanna. I wanna.
So you saw me there as we were coming towards the transition. I pulled the bass out of I Wanna, and I very sloppily moved over to Glue. I hope none of you noticed that in the original video. But because these two songs are different BPMs, and to pull Glue down to where I Wanna was makes it sound really strange, and to pull I Wanna up to where Glue was makes that sound really strange. So I had to kind of do this transition where I'm pulling up and then I try and lock that first piano beat. Dun, I know the sound is gonna be, so that it hits on the right point, which it didn't. Yeah. Anyway, so now we're into Glue. I think at this point I've only got the piano, the vocals, and the bass in, and the drums will sort of kick in later. But here we go. And what you saw me do just there was I was queuing up the next song on this deck to be in time with this one. So I set off that cue, and in my headphones I can hear the two songs at the same time, so I can check that they are running at the same time and they're all lined up. If not, I can sort of shift them slightly, but because I've done this set a lot of times, I know that they are linked up.
You're my glue. Try to escape, but girl, I'm stuck on you. Never wanna trade it for something new. I'm so high. I don't know where we're going, but I like what you're showing. I'm so high. I can't see what we're doing, but I love your body moving.
So as we were coming up to the build up there, you'll see me just trigger the chorus loop, so that then that song is just looping around on that, and I can then transition into this one by dropping some stuff out and dropping the new elements in from this side. And then you can hear that kick coming in from this one because Paradise is loaded up, and yeah, as I shift this knob over, it kind of balances those two, and then I'm going to bring in those elements later.
Touch me in the morning with the sun up above us, sipping on your coke and rum, 'cause everything's perfect. We can stop searching and taste every drop of our love. I
Again, I'm using the drums from Glue, which is the previous track. I've left them running through that first section of Paradise, and now I'm using them with a delay. I've just pulled the low pass, I've just pulled the low frequency element of that song down, and now I'm just making that kind of sizzle a little bit more so that we get a bit more of a drop for Paradise.
And no words can ever say how beautiful you look. So lean in, and we can live forever in this mood. It feels like I'm living in paradise with you.
So that's the video. That's how I put my little mini mix together. It's a real condensed version of the stuff, the set that I play live, with only 4 of my tracks. But you can hear those by going to Spotify. If you click the link below and click follow on Spotify, that would be sick. I've also got a playlist on there which has just got all of my tracks in ascending order of awesomeness, and a little thing of like a little playlist of other things that I'm listening to. So I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll see you later. Bye.